Welcome to 30-Minute Worlds live from prison. We're all in jail. This is what happened. Belvin, I think you can fucking explain this to the audience because you caused it.
Yeah, so I thought, hey, CDC just said we don't have to wear pants. Let's all strip down, Winnie the Pooh style, and go in public.
It was a great
I was
idea.
really on board with this plan, Belvin, but then you had us go to an elementary school, and I sort of lost the thread
I had
there.
to pick up an acquaintance's kid. He just seemed like he needed a day off.
That's not what you said when we were planning this operation.
Long-time listeners will know that this is not my first time in the joint when Planters Peanuts and the Turkish government collaborated in a sick collab to teach me a world of pain. But for you guys, you three it is. And I tell you, one of the hardest things about jail is finding a dang mouse in here to record on your computer. What's up with that?
I did have to trade everything I own for this podcasting equipment.
Yep, both of my COVID stimulus checks, my entire tax return, all of it went to the damn mouse. It's so expensive.
I smuggled everything in within the first day, just in my ass. So.
Well, that answers that.
In my voluminous
Well, we can't
ass.
all have a voluminous ass like you, Justin.
He also smuggled some of my
thank
stuff. I asked him beforehand. I was like, listen.
Yeah, your keyboard, your desktop, your monitor, not your mouse.
The jury deliberated for 12 minutes, and they're already back out here.
What's wild is you've been in that Bane prison for a year and a half, Walt, so I don't know how you've been recording like all of the other episodes.
Well, I thought it was crazy that they tried all four of us at the same time, and they let us keep podcasting during it, which we'll release that as premium content soon.
Well, they're all fans of Aaron Sorkin's Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah. And as for your question, Dan, I am currently building up enough muscle mass so I can scale is there like a central column of light or shaft in this prison that I can scale to escape? That's my familiarity with
oil
prison.
is being poured down it continuously. You have to climb it. And that's
More
how prison
challenge
works.
I had out in the Uzbekistan prison.
Yeah, well, you know,
See, the problem is that if you get up, you have to scale it. You have to time your escape very carefully because the day-night cycle on this prison is about like 24 minutes, and the day side is like searing hot. So you have to make it really quickly over the surface.
Are we doing a mega jail episode? Am I getting mega jail vibes from tonight's episode?
Have we had jail as a prompt word?
We had green hell was a little bit.
No,
but
we haven't. You know what's funny is when we build mega jail and then next episode, we're going to still be in jail, and we're going to have blown jail as a prompt after
we're going to do sad jail for the next
you know what? I need to escape mentally. I'm a little bummed about going to jail for life.
My prompt word is toilet wine.
Let's get to the other part of the podcast than this bullshit.
We've got our requisite bancing. We can move on to world building.
Yeah, so
now that everyone's stopped listening, we can continue with the real podcast. Have all the listeners tuned out yet?
Yeah, raise your hand.
You gotta weed out the weak.
Yeah.
All right. So this is 30-Minute Worlds, and in this podcast, we make a setting in 30 minutes or less sometimes. And you can use it to play D&D or just to listen to and escape from your commute or whatever you're doing to, enjoy yourself. But last episode was the revisit, and we're on our new schedule, so it's every other week now. So we should be raring to go, boys. We should have gas in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the lore lad? Did we determine that last episode?
Normally I'd roll it, but I have no mouse. Again, one of the travails of prison. But we didn't determine at the end of Mannequin Gate Part 2, because it's been kind of a lead up there.
I've got a physical die right here.
Roll it.
I got a physical die. I'm rolling it. Oh shit! It went off.
It fell on the floor. I can hear it from the other room.
I gotta make sure. Yeah, he can hear it from his cell. I have to make sure that when I go bend down to pick it up, that I bend at the knees. I don't.
Yeah, Chessman carved a die out of a kidney stone he bought off the warden.
Your cellmate. You're safe in there.
It's a 6. Was it supposed to be a D6?
D4.
I think it's
D4.
There are four
Okay,
of
well,
us.
let me roll.
Just keep rolling until there's 1 through 4.
Hey, how dare you sweep under the rug our 5th and 6th podcast members?
That's a 3.
A 3
Who's
is
3?
Walter.
Yeah, 5 is actually Boss, which is my cat.
Hell
6 is
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein, yeah.
Okay, well,
Renowned, famous world builder Jeffrey
We
Epstein.
had to scrub
That's
all those
Walt,
episodes.
okay, well, you're in control.
I'm the lore lad. It's going to be a nice sesh we're going to have here.
Oh no.
What are y'all's prompts? Belvio?
I'm going last.
No, you're going first this time, bud.
Weird flex.
My prompt word is prison because I want to do jail episode.
Oh, damn.
Alright.
That's weird because my prompt is going to be jail. It's a different thing.
Mine's penitentiary.
My prompt word is cooler jail.
If there was a prison, it was also a jail and a dungeon.
Ooh, have we done city?
No, we haven't.
No, it seems
Yeah, I
like a
guess
waste
not.
here, but
2 locations is a little too much.
Jail City is also something that's pretty obvious, I think.
Yeah, it's a
a
little
city
too. I
that's
mean,
a jail.
we can't just do another John Carpenter movie.
Yeah, if we somehow turned it into an archipelago, that would really be the archetypal setting for us is jail city,
Jail,
island chain.
Wind Waker Jail.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Archipelago.
Jail,
is my
Skies
word.
of
Pick your
Arcadia, Wind
fucking
Waker.
prompt. We've picked.
I was kind of going for ice. What about ice?
We've done ice. It was
Okay.
actually the first prompt ever mentioned on this show.
Fuck.
We
Yeah.
could do I mean, there are only so many words in the English.
No, I don't like repeating words.
Yeah, I don't
If
like
we
it.
catch it in the moment, let's not do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm out of words.
No,
Honestly.
you're not.
God. This shit again.
I'm going to substitute a word for you, and this is
Okay.
the first instance of the lore lad doing this,
Oh, God.
This is a wild.
but the word is glass.
Okay.
It's
Belvin,
some
what's
might
your
call
word?
it the ice of sand.
Okay. My word is aspire.
Like
Right.
like to aspire to something.
Yes.
Right. Like to build a tower to something.
Nope, shut up.
So-
No.
Jail, glass, aspire.
So the production of glass for a long time was like a very closely held like state secret of some bullshit place in Italy. Could this be a manufactory of glass? Perhaps magical glass or some sort of special property of
Magical
glass?
glass that could be used. So it's a manufactory. Is it also a jail?
It's like a workhouse. Yeah.
What if the spirits are imprisoned to make the glass?
A ghost jail.
Oh.
Spirit jail. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into ghost
'Cause
jail, sure.
Glass is such an ethereal kind of element. It's
What
not
if
an
glass
element.
is made out of
Mhm.
other ghosts?
Yo, what if it
And
is?
like the creators, the ghosts that make the glass are like a relatively privileged class of ghost prisoner.
Glass is just other ghosts, man.
You know, you smelt down other ghosts and turn them into ectoplasm, and you forge it into glass, and you make shit with it.
Well, why are the ghosts doing this?
I assume that they have sold their souls.
How big is this factory? What's it look like?
I had been envisioning a sort of large, like almost like cast iron like structure. Like it might be like kind of glossy, like
Kind of like a
probably
spire.
and like
And I know it's not what Belvin's prompt is, but we're going to lift a bit from that, right? It's a needle or a spire structure.
I was visualizing that too.
I know you were, bud. I'm
that's
helping you out.
fine. That's a good shape for
And
a prison. I think it.
To steal a bit from Chessman's half prompt, ice, we typically associate the production of glass with like heat, but since magic's involved, we can throw all that crap out the window. What if this, because it has to do with the spiritual and undead world, there's kind of a cold element here. Like it's a cold place. Cold is used in the manufacture of magic that makes the glass.
Sure. I mean, gold, like ghosts and like cold are usually associated together anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like a supernatural chill. That's cool. That's a neat aesthetic instead of like the big like smelting like refineries with all like the molten like lead and shit. It's like it's cold like glass,
Oh,
like
yeah, like
molten
big
glass.
Cold melted glass that's liquid somehow. Like that's fucking, and it's like shimmering smoke or ectoplasm off it, like it's being poured into molds.
Yeah, every now and then, like a ghost's like face floats by on the top of it.
Yeah, are the ghosts free floating, or are they stuck in orbs, or how are they?
Nail down the physical forms of the ghosts. I think you can have some variance there. They look like twisted versions of humans. They have vaguely human shapes.
They're sort of like a sense memory of a human. Mm-hmm. They're like kind of broken up a little bit. Look, maybe a little terrifying, maybe a little horrible to look at.
Sure. I'm just trying to. So the idea of jail, like some sort of punishment. It'd be interesting if the ghosts weren't purely just being like used for their, ectoplasmic ability to make glass, but they transgressed in some way. I'm imagining some weird like settler thing where the ghosts were just wandering these plains and people settled in the plains and the ghosts made trouble and they went to ghost jail. But that's just off the top of my head.
Well, the thing is, ghosts used to be people, right?
So they can have, they could also just be spirits, but yeah.
I mean, the other angle that I could see for it is if when you die, you could trade having to go on to like the afterlife or whatever for working a stint in this prison as a ghost.
It's kind of like a purgatory, so it's more like you can go to hell or you can enter our work program. Where you can get to salvation eventually if you make this dumb glass.
If you make enough license plates, we'll let you wander the earth.
That implies like a corrupt cleric, like some arch cleric who has the ability to do that and uses it to get a workforce.
What if, like, instead of a clerical order, like there is a god, but he cares about earthly money and profit of the religion.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's cool. It could be like, so it's like an avaricious god that loves donations of gold and wealth, but the human beings can't keep up with what he needs. So he's he's investing in himself. He's the boss babe.
No, the god like a god is not omnipotent that wants to make money. It's just like a greedy son of a bitch.
It wants money.
I like that.
Could this be a god of death?
The afterlife.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, shit. I have to fucking. He's like, free labor.
Or at the very least, he's high ranking. Like maybe it's like how the underworld is ruled by Hades, but other guys have some influence.
Yeah,
there.
it'd be funny if it was like a side thing he had going on that other gods like didn't necessarily know about. He's like siphoning workers.
Well, it's embarrassing to admit you drive for Uber if you're a god. You got your side hustle.
Yeah, imagine a lot of the other gods are embarrassed by him.
We got this great parallel, right? When I think a few cultures, I mean specifically Greece or probably Rome, when you die, you get buried with coins over your eyes, so you can pay the ferryman of the dead.
Yeah, Charon.
Across the river Styx.
Maybe this god is like that, a ferryman of the dead who it wants more money, like wants more than just the 2 coins.
We're juggling a lot of balls in the air here, so let's talk about what this god's name is, and then kind of go back to the location itself.
Death Man. No.
Well, no. Death Man.
What's wrong with that? It's pretty descriptive, I think.
Gods are all just named bullshit in Greek.
How about Olag?
Olag?
Okay, a Slavic flavor.
It's sort of
Slavic flavor, sure.
Okay, sure.
I just said Olag. I don't know, but anyway, he's called Olag.
It sounds like Slavic.
He's an avaricious god who can't be easily tricked. Like, he's very savvy, and he controls passage into and out of the afterlife. He's kind of the god of tradesmen.
Well, I think it'd be interesting if he weren't the god of tradesmen, if he has like this ferryman of the dead role, but he is greedy, and so he's branching out, like he's basically hustling.
Yeah, he wants more money that he can't use.
Well, no, that's the question. Why does he want human money, like material world money?
He aspires to humanity. He wants to be the best human, which means having the most money. And it's kind of
Could it be that he was a human that was uplifted into being a deity?
Maybe.
And so he has that human impulse of greed
Could
still.
be. I mean, it would make sense if like a human god lifted to godhood and like still kept some avarice. But the idea of a god just like,
He's like,
but
it's all
that
about
really
the money,
shouldn't care
like-
about this.
Yeah,
Really being
yeah.
into it is hilarious. I'm just fixated on that. Like that.
I am too. And I
Fair
think
enough.
it's funnier the more powerful he is, also, that he would care
Right.
about money.
In a lot of religions in our world, there's this thing that happens over time where different gods sort of turn into one god. Like they sort of, I forget what the word is for it.
Okay.
They
Syncretism.
syncretism.
They do the
where
fusion dance.
you'll have, they do the fusion ha, and they turn into gumballs.
Yeah, Yahweh was a storm god and
yeah.
the water god. Yeah.
Right. So it's sort of like that where you've got this ferryman of the dead god who is just like picking up a few other gods titles, but actually like stealing them kind of.
That's interesting because that would really raise the ire of the other gods. That would put them in like SmackDown territory.
Mm-hmm.
Is he taking them by force, or is he like buying them in some way? Like
He's like, glass, grass, or cash. No grass for free. And then he puts
But, like,
He's
so
trying to become
it-
the fertility god with like.
that is interesting, though. Is he using this wealth that he's accumulating to advance his the godhood, basically?
I think he's advancing the church with wealth. That he has a material following.
Well, what if he has an estate? What if he has like a mansion?
That's true. Like a
Um,
physical temple on Earth that he can sometimes go to and hang out.
Yeah.
It's got a hot tub. It's got a fucking ice cream machine. It's
got
fucking
like
sick,
5
dude.
hot tubs. Let's talk more about this glass. Why would people buy it? Why is it important to the setting? And why does he make such a killing off it?
Well, what we just talked about with the mansion and the god coming down onto the planet, kind of, it gets me thinking. Glass, like one of the biggest uses for glass, I mean, besides just windows, is mirrors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe these mirror. We did this at one point. Where there's
Talking
a
about
manor.
the snake setting,
Yeah.
or a different?
Oh yeah, we've done this a few times where like the
Well, then,
mirror
in that case, let's not.
reflects the
I
spirit
agree.
world. Yeah, so let's not do that.
Okay. Well, my idea is that the glass emits energy, so it can be
Okay,
used as a light source. It can be used as like a furnace kindling, like the equivalent of a fireplace is
I
like a
like
glass
that.
place.
Yeah. I like you have like
So
these
it's like
glass
coal,
logs that kind of glow ominously, and they're cold to the touch, but they radiate. It's not heat. Like I like that they radiate light, but not heat. If that makes sense.
Well, maybe it's like
Yeah.
this world has a different form of thermal
or
energy
heat,
that can be
heat
cold
but
and
not
also
warm. If that
energetic.
makes sense.
And
Right.
Sure,
that's
yeah.
a cool like aesthetic
Uh-huh.
too, like street lamps of just straight up glass poles that sort of pulse with ethereal light.
Right.
Like
Well, what you're kind of describing is radiation, but like not. It's like radiation that, like when it hits something, it turns into like a glass rod could radiate something that doesn't get absorbed by the glass, but like when it hits a person, which like you could say like a spirit. It's like a spirit radiation or something.
Sure.
Or like
Yeah.
it is specifically warming up other spirits around it or something like that,
Okay.
which are in people, I guess. Spirits are in people.
Yeah, and maybe usually this stuff is kind of rare. You would find it in congregations of lost spirits that get stuck in the material world, and
And it kind of forms accidentally, like when lightning hits a ghost, which is like a 1 in a million, like odd.
I don't think it has to come
unlucky.
from lightning hitting a ghost, but yeah, maybe like sprouts around it, or when the ghost feels something especially. That'd be interesting if like the ghost having like strong connection to life, or like getting strong feelings, it kind of just like crystallizes and glasses area around it.
it's cool to
I
imagine
see.
like a cairn, like a tomb where like you go and harvest this glass where there's a collection of spirits. Like that could be a reason to like have protected tombs.
But now, because of Olag's avarice, he's abused his position to make like factory jails for the
And
spirits.
he's flooding the market with cheap glass.
Can I just say too? I love how greedy a name Olag is. Like it just sounds so fucking. It's like it's all mine.
Yeah.
He does sound hungry, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we can just like say there's a pantheon.
It kind of.
We don't have to go,
Olag has enough earthly power, which the gods kind of like don't. Maybe they're either behind on this or they are ignorant.
I just imagine them not caring.
Yeah, but it's to
like
their
they like
own detriment
worship
because like Olag's also figured out like the more money you have, the more humans like, pay attention to you, and so he can actually rise to the status of like a chief god. He probably has by this point.
Maybe he's starting to traffic in belief, like Justin was saying, sort of edging in on other people's territories, selling shitty fertility treatments.
Yeah. I like he's branching out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a bad move, like for the existing pantheon to ignore his activities. Basically, is like to their own detriment, like you said, and they're gonna lose influence because of it. But who fucking that guy's just the fucking ferryman. Who gives a fuck what he does?
It'd be so fucking funny if like he has like real world positions as well. Like he has like real world titles and like he's on the board of like and he's like embezzling all this money, but you can't say anything because it's an honorific position.
Yeah,
oh my God.
If you die, he won't, and he wants to retaliate against you.
Oh fuck yeah! He has control over what happens to you when you die, and he can make sure you get to where you're supposed to go, or you could wind up in glass prison.
Right.
It is funny to imagine like the clerics of other gods trying to like curb his influence, and their deities are just not helping them at all, and so they just go to fucking ghost jail when they die.
Oh jeez.
The worst boss
All
ever.
these nerdy monks trying to preach against him, and then they just go to ghost jail.
It was all the other gods are like, well, that is his domain. Like, we're not edging in on that. Like,
those are the rules. I don't know.
This thing of
we can set it up. I always like the idea of like an idea that spins off. Like maybe one day the other gods realize they have to compete in the material realm, and then maybe
they sort of kin to it that he is edging in on all of their domains that they didn't realize.
Right, and then they realize they have to advertise, which is just so
like,
weird for God to have to do.
Olag, the end goal isn't suppressing the other gods, just getting more money by doing services to other gods. His end goal is just more money. Like that.
Right. No, I think he's a scam artist with the other domains. Like I was thinking with the like selling like Spanish fry, like penis pills type stuff. He can say, "Oh, I can make fertility god stuff," but he just wants to sell shitty treatments, because people believe it.
If like the god of the sea, like if you die at sea, your soul is supposed to go to the god of the sea. Yeah. But if you buy this limited edition boat charm from Olag, your soul goes right to the afterlife. No service to the god of the ocean.
Every aspect of the afterlife.
Nothing at all.
Oh shit! There'd be like an easy pass queue, like
like a fast pass
for when you die.
We made another capitalist hellscape.
Oh god, when like it's like imagine having like 5 family members die in an accident and you're like, I gotta pay for 5 new memberships to this
fucking god.
We're still paying off the last one. This is fucking bullshit.
Let's talk more about the factory itself.
Okay.
It's kind of defined in my mind. What else do you want to find out?
I don't know. I think we should talk more about the ghosts and how they live there.
Yeah, how they get there specifically is
it located on our planet, just in an inaccessible, cold place that no one would dare go to?
Yeah, I think of it like in the Arctic, essentially.
Yeah, I think it would be wherever the land would be cheapest or no one owns it. He built it there.
It's like in some wasteland base. I mean, it could be like on like the polar cap of whatever the planet is.
In order for operations to actually happen, like where they ship it out, there need to be mortal people working there to get it to parts of the world. So I think it is on our planet. It's in like an icy part.
They would have to ship. Wow, the shipping ice or shipping glass to like up past the Arctic Circle would be fucking hard as shit.
Well, maybe like, It's in a remote but like good trade route area. That'd be the logical thing.
Yeah.
And there's a
It
canal
could be like
or something.
like a mountain range or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's on Earth, which means that human beings can go and come from there. So there would be traders, I guess. Would there be settlements at all around
there'd
it?
be a ton of settlements around it, but because he would monetize that too, like exclusive access to this patch of land or something. So like that, yeah. He's all aspects of this are supposed to be profitable for him.
Would there be living people in these settlements? Or just spirits?
Well, maybe it's just a company town that he has created.
Okay.
Like maybe enough people who like want to go to the best afterlife.
Yeah.
And in exchange, they like work for him and they do like logistics stuff, shipping stuff, packaging, etc. Like they're the Amazon warehouse workers.
Yeah, you wouldn't actually want all of your employees to be spirits because you still have to truck with mortal things. Like you wouldn't want a spirit driving a boat. you would want
Olag's real name is Jeff Bezos.
Got it. This is all scathing and clever commentary.
Yes, very, very witty leftist commentary.
That you have to subscribe.
Do you think there would be tension between the spirits and the humans that are trying to advance themselves in Olag's favor? Because the spirits are like an inexhaustible source of labor, basically. And the humans are trying to get themselves into Olag's good graces at the same time in the same sort of area, but they're not the ideal workforce that he wants to use.
Well, I think the spirits are prisoners. The spirits are very unhappy to be there, right?
Humans are worse for him because humans he has to pay, either with the promise of you don't become a spirit, which he never likes to make because he lost
revenue.
Yeah, exactly. I like to imagine all this happens. Oh, go on.
What we're describing essentially in different terms is the way a cult operates. Mm-hmm. You've got humans who are not yet in the cult, or they're like initiates. They're not let into the inner circle. And you've got a sort of the circle above them is not the people who know the most about the cult. They're like just the next circle inward. Mm-hmm. They're like the spirits who are like new spirits who actually haven't been put on the shit jobs yet. Further in is where all the shit jobs are that are like spirits that are suffering for hundreds or thousands of years making glass. So you've got this. It's essentially it's a cult. It's there's the prison. People don't even know that it is a prison until you get all the way in.
Oh, damn.
Until your Thetan levels are high enough, you don't know that it's really prison.
Yeah.
One thing that's jumping out at me, I think if there's no counterbalance to Olag, he runs this world in a decade, right? He just has so much leverage. So I do think we should get to the point where the other gods perk up and be like, "Hey, wait a second."
I think it actually makes more sense because he's fighting on human terms, right? I think it would be humans who are actually kind of notice shit's wrong first.
Well, I think it is. I think it's the human priesthood that repeatedly try to bring it basically to the other gods' interest, like the cults of these other deities, and they're basically ignored for a while.
But humans ultimately have power over money. Mm-hmm. They can revalue currency. They can boycott. They can stop buying shit.
Well,
Olag
that's true in our world too, but
it doesn't happen.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Could there be a sort of Lenin-esque figure that is like the anti-Olag revolutionary leader?
A communist for God. A godly communist.
Yes.
It could be, honestly, like that there is a deity of something like human brotherhood or some bullshit that inspires somebody divinely to cast off basically the shackles that what is the god's name? Olag.
Something.
Olag is trying to put on us through unfettered free market capitalism.
I do like. I like to imagine all this happened because like Olag, they've been putting coins on ice or whatever for people, and he's like, yeah, whatever. And then he went to Earth, like kind of how like gods would go to Earth to like see what it was like there and like live and do parables and shit. And he went to like a corner store, and then he bought something, and then he took out his purse, and the guy's like, wow, that's a lot. And he's like, really? Like it is.
He goes to a bar, and everyone's like praising him because he has all this gold on him. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah. He's like the
He's like,
richest
this
man in
much
town.
buys an entire round for the whole bar?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
He like he's astounded.
This setting especially leads it to, in my head, it's like a narrative almost. There's a progression where like Olag discovers he likes being in the human world with money. For a while, he is just like a rich guy, like trying to skim, and then he
gets broke.
What's that?
He goes broke, and then he
just runs out of money.
He has to figure out how to make money again.
And eventually he builds his way up to, okay, I'm going to use all these spirits I have, manufacture glass, and then he figures out, oh, I can charge people for the afterlife. Maybe that's when I think that's when the other gods would start paying attention. They'd be like, wait a second.
That's when they would be like, hey, wait a minute.
Dude.
We kind of had a good thing going before. Everybody got their share of souls.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they'd just lose access to a lot of their like domain souls. That would make sense.
Yeah, like all the greatest warriors, like they didn't pay for premium, and now they're fucking making glass when they should be feasting for eternity.
Yeah, I mean, we could have it just like how in Norse mythology, Loki would push a little too far, and then they all just kick his shit in. Mm-hmm. That could be what happens in this setting. Like the humans mount a resistance, and then the gods like pay attention because of that, and they just like kick his shit in.
I do like the setting. The humans, the attitude they have is like, well, any day now the gods are gonna fucking. That is ridiculous. And then like another day goes by, like just. So the humans, there's a ton of resentment there, and there's a feeling of tension in the air. Like any fucking, this has to stop like in a week, right? Like the gods are gonna fucking notice.
This is ridiculous.
We're
come on.
Everything at this point.
The gods will regulate Olag.
He's on the school board.
The free market will
The nature will heal.
The invisible hand of actual God will.
Oh my god.
So, does this erupt into like a... I don't know if it erupts into an outright conflict as much as it is like... Or not like a war, but more like...
I think it would erupt into like a court battle across the entire world.
Well, what might happen is just like... So I think... I'm speaking out of ignorance here, but I think in South Africa, after apartheid ended and... like a lot of properties that were owned by apartheid leaders, like were kind of taken back.
Yeah,
so I think
one of the
just
most
be like
tragic
a take
events of history. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. Wow.
He's being ironic, but still cancelable. What if the people of the world, like, just kind of like, maybe he's built like all these stupid, majestic palaces and stuff, and opulent gardens, and people just kind of like take it and squat in it, and
they basically like almost nationalize.
Yes,
like
that's what I mean.
Olag, like the cult of Olag gets nationalized.
I like that.
I think
rented out. Yeah.
Oh my god, they just seize. And I don't think he's a god who uses physical force really that often, because he's
he's not a god of war, right?
I mean, he ferries spirits. It's his only actual power.
Yeah. He's not a god of war. He's not a god who has armies at his beck and call. Like, maybe he has, like, some security, but they're not going to be able to, like, protect all of his assets from everybody. He gets overwhelmed.
Damn. What a setting this is.
That's very funny to imagine people disassembling his fucking, like, palaces and shit and using it for other, like, how the Colosseum got taken apart to build houses.
Yeah.
He's built like a ton of statues of him, and people are like, what the fuck do I do with these?
This is the sort of setting that Tucker Carlson goes on Fox and is like, this is what liberals are going to do to America. Take apart the White House, build Chuck E. Cheese's for the kids.
Like Olag?
I wish.
Well, they hate Olag, and they're coming for your school.
Olag is a little Trumpish, not gonna lie.
I guess he is. I didn't mean for it to go that unsubtle.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of like the hucksterism.
It's not the most subtle setting we've ever done, I guess, but I still like it. What I'm really more in love with than anything is the idea of a god who cares about like shit we care about and money, and like we'll just screw people out of stuff
and just hustles. Yeah.
Petty deities are funny.
I think as a D&D antagonist, it'd be funny in a D&D world if like one of the religions just had this god who was like really into fucking like actual physical money, and he was the villain.
There's definitely something very comical about like petty deities, like
Yes.
because they're supposed to be better than us. Like, no, not really. They suck.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of mythologies have the gods doing very human, petty things.
Mm-hmm.
But like usually among themselves, and also I guess romantically, they come to Earth.
A lot of rape,
make love, but then none of them like come to Earth and like.
Is it making love, Velvet?
Yeah,
making sweet
when
love.
you turn into a swan and force yourself on a woman, is that making love?
My sarcastic comment about South Africa was cancelable. You described that as love making.
I'm a Zeus apologist.
Yes,
it reflects like the capricious nature of like the world that they're living in and like how unpredictable things are. But this is a neat one.
Okay, when Zeus raped all those times, I didn't think that was okay.
Okay, good. We're on the record as anti-rape by gods.
Swan rape.
Go off, King.
I'm not afraid to say it. God should not take the form of a swan, come to Earth, and rape people.
I
think he should take the form of a human, and he should sell souls.
Yeah,
until he gets enough money to build his empire. That's how mafia works.
I think we got a fair amount of meat off the bone for this setting. I like it where it is. I'm going to say I like Olag. I want to see him again. I want to see what he gets up to. But how are we doing on time?
We're good.
40 minutes.
Hell yeah! Let's fucking
3 minutes.
There's no need to give these bastards anymore.
No, cut them off.
Cut them off at the source. Chessman, you want to read them their rights?
I'll read the rights. I'll read. You have the right to an attorney. If one is not.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
You're
That's the other
back
one.
to the arrest.
You have the right to a mouse for your computer. You don't have one. It'll be provided to you.
Sorry, I was just talking to Speedweed the other day. Well, folks, that's our show. If you like this episode, you can subscribe to us on your podcasting service of choice to get new episodes every other Saturday. And if you'd like, go ahead and write us a review on iTunes and share us with all your world-building friends. It really helps us out. Oh, whatever you listen to. I don't listen on iTunes. I don't know anybody who listens. Do people even listen to podcasts on iTunes anymore?
I listen on Edge.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop.
Please write us a review on Edge, the web browser. Our art is courtesy of the talented and wonderful Shell Tor at Jovial Paradox on Twitter. And you can tweet at us too at LoreLads or send us spirited hate mail at 30minuteworlds@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. And as always, happy world building.